I join the chorus in saying to all of you today, good morning to you as well, and welcome to today. Today is Tuesday the 24th of February 2026, and I'm Pearson Bowen. Always wonderful having you company. How was your night? I hope you had a good night. The neighbor cut the grass yesterday. The allergies kick in immediately. Happens all the time. But good having you company. Thank you for joining us. And to all of you who've joined us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, to all, good morning. How do you do? Thank you so much for sharing with us. Share the show, share the love, bring others along, and let them join into what we do. And I always ask you every day, and I shall continue to do so because you're a partner with us. If you know of something we can talk about, tell us about it. If you know of someone whose story you think we can tell us about it. If you have an idea that we should explore on the show, tell us about it. And you can do so by sending us an email. That address on your screen is our email address. It's morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And to all of you who do so every single day, we say thanks. Thanks so very much for responding to the call to be a part of what we do. It's still Lent. And again, what are you sacrificing for Lent? What are you taking on or giving up? What is it you're doing for Lent? Have you taken up the time to attend more regularly church and to engage in more Bible study, to have a greater understanding of your purpose? What is it that you're doing for Lent? There are churches all across the island looking forward to welcoming you into a pew to engage in what they do so that you can be a better person yourself at the end of the 40 days and 40 nights. And not just see this as an experience as a way to get to Easter Monday. It is not as simple as that. There's much more that's required for you to do on your spiritual journey. Today is also the start of the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of CARICOM. They're meeting in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis from today right through to the 27th. And so already we saw the heads of government arriving in St. Kitts and Nevis to red carpet treatment, indeed. And so we're looking forward to what will come from this regular meeting. And so later on in our conversation on CARICOM, we get a sense of the agenda and what are the expectations by most in society, just normal society, about what our leaders will be meeting to discuss and how relevant truly is that meeting to making a change in Barbados or in the Caribbean. By the way, here's our question of the day. Let me ask you early so that you get involved in all of this. Your question of the day is, what should CARICOM leaders focus on right now? What should CARICOM leaders really focus on right now, in your opinion? And you can respond by calling me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. What do you think CARICOM leaders should be focusing on right now? Should it be, in your opinion, as a CARICOM, the cost of living? We hear this cry all over the region. Is that something you believe that they should actively sit down to focus on in this meeting? Should climate vulnerability be one of those key areas that CARICOM leaders should be focusing on specifically? Or could it be crime and security? That too is another refrain we hear in all of the islands across the region. Is it regional movement? Access to regional movement, whether it's by land not land, but certainly by sea or by air. What is it? Or is it political cooperation? Are some of those concerns for you, some of the things that our leaders should be focusing on? Call me now. Let me know. 228-5562 or 228-5563. If you care to, you can join us in our comment sections on Facebook and YouTube. So what do you think CARICOM leaders should be focused on right now? What is your thought on that? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'm waiting on your call, so feel free to jump in at any given time and let me know what you're thinking. Also coming up today, she lived and was born in St. Lucia. She now lives and works in Paris, and so we want to look at that move across to Paris and what that has meant for the Caribbean and for herself. And so we'll be joined this morning by Petra Batiste as she shares her journey from the region to the world. Also this morning, we all do make some big kitchen mistakes when it comes to cooking. Guilty as charged, I'm sure a number of you are as well. What are some of those common cooking mistakes that we make in the kitchen? Well, Chef Adrian Cumberbatch will join us as he shares with us some do's and don'ts, and he'll also give us some ideas as to what we can do a whole lot differently, not just with our habits, but cooking up some delicious meals that are very, very Caribbean. So we'll look to talk to him a little about that a little later on in the show. But I'm taking your calls now. What should CARICOM leaders focus on most right now? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'm waiting on your call. Today being the 24th, tomorrow the 25th is your deadline to get your entries in to our call to you to win a weekend, this lovely weekend at South Point Hotel in our Love is in the Air Valentine's promotion. So if you have not yet done it, you have today into tomorrow. To get your video in 90 seconds, no more than 90 seconds, send us your love story. And you could be a winner of that very special stay at South Point Hotel just on the edge of Barbados, overlooking the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. You get a first glimpse of the sun as it rises, and then you get the last sunset. So I just love it indeed. So South Point is a beautiful, beautiful, idyllic location, and it could be yours to stay at South Point Hotel. But you need to enter. You need to get your video completed. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be special. It just has to be you and your love story. So send us, and you can send it to marketing@cbc.bb. Marketing@cbc.bb, and good luck. You might get that chance to stay at the beautiful South Point Hotel right there in Christchurch. But your call. What should CARICOM leaders be focused on right now? They are meeting, and they will begin meetings today in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. What a beautiful space on earth to be. I envy you, CARICOM leaders, and your delegations. That's where Ambassador David Commichon is today. But we have a call already. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Petra. Good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How do you do?
I'm doing well, too. Good to hear you. I watch you every day.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm listening, and I'm trying to place the accent. Where are you?
I'm here in Barbados. I lived here for quite some time, by way of Trinidad and Tobago.
By way of Trinidad? Oh, the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Listen, girl, there's some action going on in your nation state.
Absolutely.
Don't comment right now. You hold your comment for another time. But
I don't think you will be able to handle my comments.
That's why I said hold it for another time. But your response to me, absolutely. I could tell where you're going on in your head. So what do you think that CARICOM leaders should be focused on right now?
We definitely have to focus on regional security, what's going on a geopolitical level with everything that's happening. They have to focus on that, what's happening all across the region with our neighbors in Latin America.
So certainly something happened that causes you cause and concern. And naturally, is it the blowing up of the boats by the U.S.? Is it the extraction of Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela? What concerns you as it relates to that side of the region?
It's really all of the above. As in the impending sanctions on Cuba, we have the challenges with Haiti. We're seeing a show of force. It looks like Caribbean leaders are not really working together. It's just a lot of things happening right now.
How would you know that Caribbean leaders are working together?
Well, we have to wait and see.
But how would you know?
It doesn't look so for the average person.
But how would it look for you, this collaboration, this working together by CARICOM leaders? What would it look like to you?
As my grandmother, who was Bajan, would say, they would be singing from the same hymn sheet.
You see, you said it so well, like a good Bajan girl. You would all say from the same hymn sheet. And you're right in some sense indeed. But, you know, life is as life is. We're all separate islands. And so that level of insularity really affects the way we cooperate. But you're right. I agree with you that regional cooperation and a look at regional security within the geopolitical goings on is something I think they need to focus on as well. Is there anything else you think they need to put second on that agenda?
Just that it is chicken curry and not curry chicken.
Listen, that is an argument that you're going to lose here. You are going to lose that. Would you say peas and rice or rice and peas?
Definitely peas and rice.
Wrong. We stand by that. Wrong. But I thank you so much for calling and sharing. You were really... I like the way that you've been able to put your thoughts on the table, and I thank you for that, okay?
Thank you, Pearson, to you and your little crew.
Yes, you got it, girl. You got it. You got it. Thank you very much indeed. All the best indeed. I love that. She knows. She knows what we say. Yeah, my little crew, and it's a little crew. It truly is a little crew. On Friday, I shared with you you saw for yourself the only person in this room that I sit right now with me, and who spends the next 2 hours with me in this room. The only one who stays right through with me is Peter. Apart from that, people come and go, they come and go, but it's just the two of us in a big able studio. But we do it because we love to meet with you every single day. So that's one of the little crew. In our production room, there are just 3 people sitting down right now. That's Roel Ford, who is our technical director, our producer, Tisha Hines, and our sound director in Christopher Blenman. That's all it is. And then we have Joanna, who's our makeup girl. And so this little crew in this part of the building is who we are. But then a little bit further down the corridor is Doreen. Doreen is in what we call master control, and she punches out everything to you. That's the vastness of our crew. So it's a little crew, and we do this especially for you every single day. Pat Ben, good morning to you as well. You have yourself a great morning. She's saying good morning to the crew too. Pat, good morning to you. Vereen Walker, good morning. She says good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados. Thank you so very much, Vereen. Have a great today. Auntie Faye, so wonderful seeing you and hugging you on Sunday. She's saying good morning to everyone who's watching here, there, and everywhere. And to all of you, Auntie Faye. And back at you, we say good morning. Have a good Slender Glenda, my girl, my girl, my girl, Slender Glenda. Glenda, good morning to you. She says good morning to all board as well. And so, Glenda, we wish you terrific today. You had big activity up by you yesterday, Glenda. Pat Ben, she says she's locked on from snowy Queens. By the way, she feels that she's living in the North Pole. Everything all around is north white. They are experiencing the blizzard of a lifetime. I've seen videos of people living in igloos. That's what I really have to call it, because everywhere is just covered over by snow. And wow, I think if I was in that environment, I would be so annoyed because you just can't get on with other life outdoors. And so good luck to all of you. As with everything, these things shall pass. So folks, waiting on your calls. What should CARICOM leaders focus on right now the most? Should it be cost of living, in your opinion? Should it be climate vulnerability, because we're all met with climate vulnerability? Is it crime and security? Is that concerning for you, and you think that CARICOM leaders need to do more and to sit down longer and discuss this? Is it the regional movement? Are you concerned for our ability to travel between ourselves and to experience each other's culture? Is that a big concern for you? Or is it political cooperation? Is that what you think CARICOM leaders need to buckle down and settle down to discussing? What do you think? 228-5562 or 228-5563. And speaking of that snow, look, oh my goodness. This is Barry? Oh, Betty in New York. Betty said this to us. Oh, Betty, you were so creative. I remember the days sitting on our grass hills in the country and just doing what you're doing now, sitting on a piece of cardboard and going down the hill. Sweet. I love it, man. Love it, Betty. Enjoy the snow. What else can you do? You can't fight it. You can't make it snap and make it go away. So just enjoy the snow. Enjoy the day to the fullest. We have a lot to get to, folks. And I really thank you for staying with us and engaging with us. So what we'll do, we'll take a break here. We're coming back with more this Tuesday morning on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is time on this Tuesday morning to have our conversations on CARICOM. Ambassador David Kamashong, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, is a part of the delegation attending the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Caribbean Heads of Government in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So he's unavailable today. However, in his stead, we do have, since 2009, the political leader of the Movement for Social Justice in Trinidad and Tobago, David Abdullah. Mr. Abdullah, good morning to you.
Morning.
Good to have you, indeed.
Having me on your program.
You're very welcome. Let's look at what's happening today, starting today, in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government. It's a regular meeting. Let's look first of all at the state of CARICOM and to get your view as to what you consider to be the current state of CARICOM.
CARICOM is in difficulty. I don't think that we have been as divided since the 1983 Grenada, end of the Grenada Revolution with the invasion of the U.S., when, of course, Mrs. Eugenia Charles left Trinidad and Tobago, actually left a CARICOM emergency summit meeting, which has been held at the Trinidad Hilton, where they were trying to put together a consensus for a CARICOM intervention, political intervention in Grenada following the assassination of Maurice Bishop and his colleagues. And she then flew to Washington and stood next to President Ronald Reagan when he announced that the U.S. would be invading Grenada. So I don't think we've been as divided in CARICOM since then as badly as we are now. So that to me is the most fundamental issue. CARICOM had a slogan, better together, or stronger together. And certainly since, I would say, August last year, following the build-up of the U.S. military deployment in the Southern Caribbean and these various statements by the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, there have been these, very deep divisions, first around the Caribbean being a zone of peace, and now I think otherwise.
So from your point of view, CARICOM's fracture is really as a consequence of outside interference by other partners of CARICOM. And so what do you think to be the way forward? How do we begin to mend some of those fractures that you see?
Well, certainly there needs to be an open and frank discussion behind closed doors of the CARICOM heads. I think that is the first thing. I'm not so sure if that's going to happen in St. Kitts because of the fact that the Secretary of State of the U.S., Marco Rubio, is actually going to be attending those meetings. The Prime Minister here has announced that she's going to have a private one-on-one meeting with Mr. Rubio prior to the sessions of the heads. So that is worrying because it would seem as if there would be some consensus or agreement between Mrs. Persad-Bissessar and Washington. And then she might very well take those positions into the plenary meeting. So that's very worrying. And so I don't think that unity is going to emerge out of this particular CARICOM heads meeting. She made a very strong statement attacking 8 former heads of government, who incidentally were joined subsequently by 3 others. So she really attacked 11 former heads of government of CARICOM and on the whole issue of Cuba. And that is extremely worrying because I think that the issue of CARICOM standing with Cuba at this point in time when the United States is pursuing its colonial and imperial agenda of the Monroe Doctrine, which has now been renamed, as he's wont to do, because Mr. Trump likes to rename everything after himself, the Monroe Doctrine. But the blockade against Cuba, which the UN General Assembly has voted against and has deemed to be illegitimate and illegal for decades, has now been strengthened or made worse, if you wish, by the blockade of fuel going into Cuba. This has created a major humanitarian crisis, which the Secretary General of the UN has spoken about, which the Special Rapporteur to Cuba of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights, who visited Cuba in November of last year, also spoke about the humanitarian crisis. And so that really is the fundamental issue. And CARICOM really has to stand with Cuba, calling on the United States to end that fuel blockade. If they could persuade Mr. Rubio to do that, that would be a tremendous victory and a great outcome. But I'm not sure that is going to happen.
Do you get a sense that the general populations of the region feel the way you feel about what's happening there, or do we need to do more within our respective communities to be able to agitate the people sufficiently so that they join or put pressure on CARICOM leaders to have those kinds of discussions that you think are necessary?
Excellent question. First of all, I think the vast majority of the people in the Caribbean are in support of Cuba. They appreciate Cuba. They respect Cuba. We have benefited tremendously from Cuba's healthcare professionals working in our countries. Sporting-wise, the first Trinidad and Tobago the second Olympic gold medalist, Keyshawn Walcott, the first to win gold in a javelin event and the first person of color to ever win a field event in the Olympics. Keyshawn Walcott was coached by a Cuban. And the person who was Prime Minister at the time in 2012 when he won that gold medal was actually Mrs. Prasad Busesa. So the people of the Caribbean stand with Cuba. We have a great love and affinity for Cuba and what Cuba has achieved and what they have stood for in terms of their national sovereignty and their independence and so on. But I do think that as a people, we have not been vocal enough to convey that our sentiments to our respective heads of government. And that is one of the things that we have to ramp up. I'm in the process of sending an open letter to all the heads on behalf of the Assembly of Caribbean People, of which I'm a regional executive member. And we have done this consistently, but this one is going to have a slightly different tone because the heads know what the issues are. They all know what the issues are. And so it really is going to be a letter that identifies their moral obligation to Cuba. The late Professor Norman Gervin, in accepting an honorary doctorate, when he was alive, an honorary doctorate from the University of Havana. Of course, Norman was one of our outstanding Caribbean political economists, a member of that great New World group that emerged in the late 50s and early 60s in the Caribbean. Norman, in that address in Havana many years ago, when he received the honorary doctorate, said that the debt to Cuba is really unpayable because Cuba has done so much, not only for us in the Caribbean, but also throughout the world. It was Cuba that stood against the South Africans, sent troops, their best sons and daughters, to fight the South African army and defeated them, which resulted in the end of apartheid and the release of Nelson Mandela. And so many other things that Cuba has done. Selflessness, they didn't ask anything in return. So we really have a moral obligation to do what is right. And that is going to be the tone of the appeal to the heads of government, to search in their conscience, and their hearts, and say, regardless of how strong the U.S. is, because in 1972, when Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana recognized Cuba, we were the only countries apart from Mexico in this whole hemisphere that had broken that, isolation of Cuba. And we were small, newly independent countries, but we stood up to the United States and said, we are doing this because this is what is right, and Errol Barrow, deceased, Michael Manley, Forbes Burnham, Eric Williams must be wondering, what the hell is going on with this current group of leaders? Do they have the moral strength and this conviction of their principles to not just make a statement politely to Mr. Rubio, but to say, listen, yes, you're strong and powerful. Yes, you don't even need a flotilla of naval ships and aircraft to overcome us militarily. But as Jose Marti, the Cuban national hero, said, a trench of ideas is more powerful than a trench of stones. So we don't have stones. We can't fight the U.S. militarily. We can't fight them economically. But we could say, on the basis of our moral and principled position, that what you're doing is wrong. It is really creating a crime of humanity. There's a humanitarian crisis. And, end this blockade, end the blockade.
So you're calling for us to use our intellect. We don't have the military might, but you have certainly might of mind to be able to influence in some way. Give to us, paint the picture for what you see too. If we are not able to do so, what does the region stand to lose if we don't win this particular standoff between ourselves and the mighty power of the U.S.?
Well, yeah, Mr. Trump and Mr. Rubio may, as they have done, threaten the withdrawal of visas to government officials. They can make access of our citizens to the United States more difficult, as they have said they would do. They wouldn't necessarily cancel existing tourist visas that citizens have. They may do that for senior government officials, but new applications may become more problematic. But in any case, at this moment, I'm not too sure how many Caribbean people want to go to the United States, quite apart from the blizzard that you showed. I saw some of the images there,
yes.
And so on, but quite apart from the weather. But the other ice, not the physical ice created by bad weather, but the ice of the American federal actions against people of color has made a lot of Caribbean people very insecure in the United States. It's not a welcoming place for us at this moment. So, we could prioritize our travel elsewhere. In terms of education, for example, our students may want to go there, but our University of the West Indies actually is now undersubscribed in terms of student intake post-COVID. So let us ramp up our numbers within UE and therefore strengthen our regional integration. And we can also strengthen bilateral and, in the case of CARICOM, relations with Europe. Europe is also having its problems with the United States over Ukraine, over many other issues, over tariffs and so on. With Asia, not only China, but with India and so on. With countries of Africa. And I know that Ambassador Kamiziong, my good friend, so it's one David substituting for another this morning on your program. Ambassador Kamiziong has been a very strong advocate of engagement of CARICOM and Africa. So and there's Latin America as well, which is just next door to us. So there are a lot of other opportunities. We don't have to have all our eggs in one basket and feel as if we are totally weak. And when it comes to what you said about the mind and intellect, you're actually right, because Caribbean countries have punched way above our population weight in terms of our contributions to the intellectual and artistic and creative world. We have more Nobel Prize winners per capita in the Caribbean than any other part of the world. We have three, in fact. So and there are other things that we have achieved that are amazing in terms of our music, and our academics and our contributions to the Pan-African struggle, going back to Henry Sylvester Williams, at the turn of the century, C.L.R. James, George Padmore, Kwame Ture, otherwise known as Stokely Carmichael, and so many others. So we have a lot to be proud of and a lot to base our positions that we can be confident. I think that's the most important point.
Yes.
We can be confident in facing the most powerful people in the world and say to them, listen, we are creating our own civilization. That's a phrase by former Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. And Marco Rubio, incidentally, outlined his concept of civilization at the last Munich Security Conference, when he said America was built by immigrants from Europe. He didn't talk about the genocide of the first peoples and the seizure of their lands by settlers. And he never referred, of course, to the enslavement of African people and what that process of enslavement contributed to the development of the United States. So they have a Eurocentric, essentially racist worldview and we have to say to them, no, your civilization is not our civilization. We are building our civilization, which came out of our endurance of genocide of the first peoples, out of slavery through indenture in the case of some of us, and up to freedom. And that is what we are building, and we must assert that, and that the Caribbean, we are kith and kin, culturally and otherwise, with the people of Cuba, with Haiti, which is another important issue, and the rest of the Caribbean, and we really have to build a Caribbean civilization.
Indeed so, and it's so ironic that Marco Rubio himself being a product of his parents being Cuban. We'll take a break here, Mr. Abdullah. When we come back, I want to look at Trinidad and Tobago and your view of the state of Trinidad and Tobago relative to CARICOM and what your expectations are of the outcome of this regular meeting, the 50th, indeed, in syndicates. We're coming right back with more right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're having our Tuesday morning's conversations on CARICOM. We're joined today by David Abdullah, who is the political leader of the Movement for Social Justice in Trinidad and Tobago, a movement formed in 2009 and ever since then aligning themselves with social justice. And so, Mr. Abdullah, again, it's good to have you, but there's some worrying statements made by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago when she referred to CARICOM as an unreliable partner at this time. She says the fact is that beneath the thin line of unity, there are some widening fissures that, if left unaddressed, will lead to implosion. She also says that the organization is deteriorating rapidly owing to poor management, lax accountability, fractional divisions, destabilizing policies, private conflicts between regional leaders and political parties, and the inappropriate meddling in the domestic policies of member states. She says that's the plain truth. Those are her words. Paint the picture for me in Trinidad and Tobago. When Trinidad and Tobagans heard those words, what did they say?
The majority of people in Trinidad and Tobago were horrified by what she said and disagreed with her totally. Of course, she's Prime Minister and she has a very good majority, a large majority in the Parliament, but she does not necessarily have the support of the majority of the population. When she won the elections, yes, she won the popular vote, but with a minority of the persons who were registered to vote. So my own view is that her position is not reflective of the majority of the people in Trinidad and Tobago. And you know, one of the problems that we have is that we don't always recognize everything that CARICOM does. So, for example, the Caribbean Examination Council, you know, the Council for Legal Education, which deals with professional training of persons who finish their law degree, and so much more. All of those things are collaboration with respect to disaster management and environmental issues and security and so on. There's so many functional areas of cooperation of CARICOM. You know, and when she made that point and attacked CARICOM, I pointed out the fact that what she's doing to Trinidad and Tobago is putting us in economic difficulty, because outside of the energy sector, the largest earner of foreign exchange comes from our manufacturing sector. And the principal market for our manufacturers is CARICOM. And you know, because you live in Barbados, when you go into the supermarket in Barbados, what you see so many products that were manufactured in Trinidad and Tobago. So to attack CARICOM is really spiting off your nose here in Trinidad and Tobago, to spite your face. I think that's the right quote. And so we need to strengthen relations with CARICOM from a Trinidad and Tobago point of view and not weaken it, because our energy sector is in deep crisis, and we need the CARICOM market to continue earning the foreign exchange that will enable us to import so much more. So, you know, those are things. And when she talks about meddling in the domestic affairs of other countries, in recent elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in St. Lucia, and I'm not sure but it may have been, because I think I heard statements made by your Prime Minister to the effect that there were persons out of Trinidad who were campaigning for the party opposite to whoever was the incumbent prior to the elections last year and early this year in those three countries that came from Trinidad and Tobago and were activists of the UNC. So she has been meddling. And one of the concerns I have is that within CARICOM there's going to emerge another grouping similar to what was known as the Caribbean Democratic Union, which emerged in the early 80s and just during the Grenadian Revolution just afterwards. When you had Prime Minister Tom Adams, Eddie Seaga of Jamaica, Eugene Charles of Dominica, and others, which was a subgroup, if you wish, of political parties, and they then stood against the others, like the PNP of Jamaica and so on, the PNM at the time in Trinidad and Tobago. So that is one concern that I have that will certainly further fracture CARICOM. But I hope some of these issues, and if she feels that way, she needs to say that and not just make those broad brush statements, but she has to provide evidence of that. So if she said that CARICOM, there's a lack of accountability, perhaps Prime Ministers always talk about that with respect to the government that they have replaced. But if she says there's a lack of accountability within CARICOM and mismanagement, she can't do that and taint all the public servants who are working hard in the CARICOM Secretariat. She has to say this is what is wrong and these are the steps that we have to take to correct it. And I hope that her colleagues confront her on that and have an open and frank discussion about those things. CARICOM is not as perfect as we want it to be. The Caribbean single market economy has been lagging for decades. And so that has to be speeded up. But those are things that do have to be dealt with at the level of the heads and commitment, so that some CARICOM countries, including Barbados, agreed to complete free movement of people after the last summit in July, was it last year? But Trinidad and Tobago, for example, hasn't. So will she now agree to that in this one? Those are the things that level of commitments that have to be made by our heads if we want to advance the Caribbean integration project further.
Well, she's expressed her thoughts. Her thoughts are in words. We know it now. And so the theme of this year's meeting is Beyond Words. Action today for a thriving, sustainable CARICOM. So given what we know now, and given the strength of the words of your Prime Minister, what do you see to be the possible outcome of this 50th regular meeting?
Yeah, I'm very worried about what the actual outcome will be, and whether we will get a communique that says, with respect to Cuba, there was consensus, however, Trinidad and Tobago did not concur or something like that. With respect to Haiti, I don't know what will be the outcome because Haiti is in deep crisis. The Transitional Presidential Council, which CARICOM eminent group of leaders helped to facilitate, that has come to an end. So we don't know what is going to be happening politically in Haiti. And Haiti is a CARICOM country. And incidentally, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis has to change his position. He agreed to accept persons who are being deported from the United States, but he said no Haitians. Yes. That was terrible. That was really very terrible. And we have to call him out on that as well. Because Haitians are our Caribbean sisters and brothers, and Haiti is a CARICOM member state, So, let us see what emerges. I'm not that hopeful, but what I do see is an emerging consciousness amongst people. It's small, but I think it's growing amongst people on the ground about the importance of CARICOM. And whatever, I think the most important thing would be what happens on the ground coming out of this heads meeting to push forward from below, as happened in the 30s and 40s, because federation happened because the Caribbean labor movement in the 30s and 40s and early 50s demanded federation and democracy, the right to vote, and so much more, and self-government and independence. So I think the impetus has to come from below to push the heads in the right direction going into the future. And, in 1991 or 92, the CARICOM group that was chaired by Sir Shudas Ramphal published its report, the West Indian Commission, I'm searching for the right name, published its report, Time for Action. I'm sure you're old enough to remember that report. And that recommended, many things, including greater political integration and also the Caribbean single market economy. That was 1992. That's what now, 34 years on, and we still haven't implemented it in the way that we ought to. So I certainly hope that we move beyond the words and the reports and the studies and the analyses, of which we have plenty, and have the political will to do what is right for Caribbean people. We can't survive in this global environment, quite apart from what Mr. Trump is doing. He will come and he will go eventually. But in the context of what is taking place in this world today, we can't survive as individual small island states, or in the case of Guyana, Belize, small or large, or states with large landmass but with small populations. Right. We can't survive like that. We can only survive if we are together, united, speaking with one voice, and integrating ourselves as best as we can, and our resources and our people and other resources that we have to strengthen our economies to provide for sustainability. And the issue of climate change is critical because, as you know, Mr. Trump has withdrawn from the Paris Accords. Mm-hmm. He has withdrawn from supporting UN agencies with respect to social development issues. He has the Sustainable Development Goals. All of those things we have to tell Mr. Rubio, no, you can't do those things, because those things have implications and have implications for us, negative implications for us, because we are very vulnerable when it comes to climate change. If we want to have sustainable development, then we need to have the United States moving back into those global arenas and engage in international obligations, mm-hmm. which they have, because they are a major polluter and consumer of resources to the detriment of others.
You know, Mr. Abdullah, you've answered the question I wanted to ask you next, and you've done so succinctly that I truly admire your ability to read my mind. Indeed, but thank you so much for joining us on today's Conversations on CARICOM as the leader of the Movement for Social Justice, one of the political movements in Trinidad and Tobago as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you very much for having me, and have a great day. Take care.
Likewise. And that's been our Conversations on CARICOM. Morning Barbados takes a break right here. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories, and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our next guest says her Caribbean heritage is not simply just where she's from, but it's actually the foundation for everything that she is and she continues to do. Her name is Petra Baptiste. She is resident in France and she joins us now. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I do well. You're the Chief Executive Officer of Island Empress and Island Emperor. And there must be a distinction between the Empress is female, Emperor is male. Am I reading this correctly so far? And so you are a creative and you do more than simply exist. You teach English, you do so much. But how did you get to Paris in the first place?
Well, before I got to Paris, I was residing in London and I stayed there for 18 years. But then I got the opportunity to come here after living in England for so long. I thought, at the time, I was willing to try another country and see what my possibilities or opportunities could be. So when I got that opportunity, I jumped on it. And then I figured if it works out here, then hooray. And if it doesn't work out, I can always return either back to London or I could return to the Caribbean. So it was just trying. But then I decided to stay and things are working out.
And so for you, home in the Caribbean is St. Lucia, the Helen of the West. So where exactly in St. Lucia were you born?
I was born and raised in Dennery. And Dennery is of two parts. You have Dennery Valley and you have Dennery Village. I grew up in Dennery Valley. I went to school in Dennery Village. But I'm a Dennery girl.
I love the area. I love Dennery. I just love St. Lucia to begin with. And so I see behind you an example of what you do now, which is you're into designs. And so the two companies that you formed, Island Empress and Island Emperor, also are places where we can see Caribbean creativity and Caribbean culture expressed through your own eyes. So talk to me a little bit about that part of you, which is the designer.
Well, I started at an Empress on the platform simply because when I arrived here, I realized that the Caribbean community is quite small and it was not represented or celebrated. So therefore, rather than being the one to complain about it, I decided to start my platform to help make the change within the situation. So I started that, and it's about celebrating Caribbean men and women from the Caribbean diaspora, be it at home or abroad, celebrating them in their respective fields, basically. So it started with that, and then it catapulted into other avenues to the point that here I am today about to embark on such a monumental journey.
That journey is because of where you are. Paris itself being the fashion capital of the world. And so for some reason, you were spotted. How did that come about so that you have the opportunity to showcase at Paris Fashion Week? How did that come about?
I went last year, 2025. I decided that I have no intention. I didn't want to do anything in the sense that I felt like what I was doing, I was not being quite productive in the way that I needed to be. So I needed to take a step back. I decided that I'm not going to do anything for that whole year and just wait for things to reveal itself to me. But then within that, I attended 2 fashion shows with a friend of mine. The first one, I was quite taken aback, quite mesmerized by it. And then I made the statement to my friend, I can actually do this, you know. And I said it quite casually. Yes. Right. And then she said, yes, Petra, I've seen your work. You can. And then I just shoved it off. I was like, yeah, anyway. And then we moved on with the conversation. But that happened in March. Come October of last year as well, I went to a second fashion show with that very friend. And I said to her, listen, I feel like I should be doing this because I can do it. And then she said to me, yes, Petra, we keep having the same conversation, right? You can do it. What are we going to do? So thereafter, we had a third conversation over the phone. And then she made the statement, well, one of the organizers, the co-producer for this show that we left, she's actually a friend of mine. I know her. I'll put in a good word for you. And I said, oh, okay, whatever. We moved on. Within an hour, she then returned to me and said, Petra, this is the name of the lady that you need to speak to. This is the number. She's expecting your call. I've already spoken in high regards about you and your creative work. She's expecting a call, and the rest is in your hands. And I freaked out. To be honest, I freaked out. And I called another friend. I was like, oh, my God, can you believe this? This is happening. And and I was already listing the reasons why I should not take the opportunity because I was already running scared. But thankfully, when you have friends in your circle that knows how to calm you down and actually want greatness for you, she said to me, you know what are we doing? Let's talk, sit back, and let's analyze this, go in depth, and you can do this. And then after that conversation, here we are. I called the lady back and I said, yes, I would like the opportunity. And right now a lot of people ask me if I'm nervous. I am yet to feel nervous about this because I feel like this is my moment. I'm embracing it and I'm ready for it because I've been doing all the small steps leading towards moments like this. So here I am.
Wow, what a story. And you know, it began with your own prophecy when you says, I can do that. And now here it is, you have to prepare a collection. Talk to me a little bit about now dreaming this dream, seeing this dream before you becoming a reality, and now the hard work is to prepare that collection. How are you getting about that?
With no sleep. I am currently with the flu as well. But here I am. I went to bed 4 o'clock this morning working on this. When I spoke to Miss Hines this morning, it was already 3 a.m. for me.
Wow.
But right now I'm functioning on 3 hours of sleep right now. But I am determined. Oh, thank you. It is. I am determined to put a collection that doesn't just resonate with me, but resonate with my Caribbean culture. Mm-hmm. So I keep telling myself, sleep when the show is done, but let's put in the work right now. So, yeah.
Help me understand the conversation around your Caribbean culture, and by the way that you design. What are people saying about your designs and your styles so that they're really open to purchasing and wearing?
Well, my current collection, nobody has seen, so nobody has any intake on that. I refuse to let anybody see that, not even the sketches. I'm keeping all of that quite hush about it. And but for me, my collection, I want what I call wearable collection, because sometimes we're going to wear costume. I need to say that my pieces are costume-based pieces. I'm not doing dresses and skirts. I'm going solely for costuming, and simply because I know, one, that I need to stand out. This is an opportunity that I need to make everybody pay attention to my creative skills, my talent. So costuming is one of my favorite things for me to do, and it feels extremely natural for me. So I'm doing that. But I'm going back to wearable pieces. I want my costumes that even after the show, it is there are pieces that you can still wear. It is still fashionable. You can still wear it with a pair of jeans. You can still wear it for you to go out for dinner. You can still wear it for you to go hang out with the girls or to meet with your partner. And so my collection is couture mixed with costuming, if that makes sense.
I like it.
So,
couture mixed with costume.
Yeah.
And are you doing for males and for females, or are you specifically showing the females?
I am doing both. But my collection is mainly female, but I do have two male models because I want to show the level of my creative skills. I don't want to pigeonhole myself when it comes to my skills, because I would love to have to attain other opportunities out of that. So therefore, I'm showing different ranges to what I can do.
Well, I'll prophesy for you now. I believe, and I say now, I declare that publications will follow you, and they will want to show you, they will want to talk to you, people will want to buy from you as well. People will see your wearable art to be the wear of the day. And so I encourage you to stay with what you do. The little girl from Dennery in St. Lucia, by way of London, finds herself in Paris. And there we are. These are examples of what you do. You're looking at your culture, and you're incorporating your culture into what we do, what you wear, we wear. And that's the whole beauty of it. That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you stand out. Petra, to you, I say thank you. I say merci.
Thank you so much.
Do you speak French well?
Bien. Je ne parle pas français très bien, mais j'ai fait un effort pour parler la langue, mais je parle créole parce que je suis ici.
All right. You lost me there at the beginning. But thank you so much for joining us this morning, and all the best to you on your continued journey to being the Caribbean creative you are, and to representing us in those far-flung places and spaces so well and so beautifully, never losing your culture. Petra Batiste, thank you so much today.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to your viewers for listening.
You're very welcome indeed. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Petra Batiste there. She's in London. She has the opportunity of her lifetime to show at the upcoming Paris Week for 2026. We got a sneak peek into what she can do. And so the next thing is for us to continue to follow her journey, to look up for the publications as we see them. And remember, you saw her right here on Morning Barbados, which is coming back right after this break.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now. The roundabout at St. Patrick's in Christchurch has been officially renamed in honor of the statesman and community stalwart Sir Richard Cheltenham. Prime Minister Mayor Amal Motley said the honor recognizes his phenomenal contribution to the community where he was raised and where he remains actively involved. Speaking at last evening's renaming ceremony, she noted that an overwhelming number of residents signed a petition supporting the move to honor the Attorney-at-Law, who is serving as chair of the Constitution Reform Committee.
With Cabinet's blessing and agreement, we took a decision that the renaming of all institutions and places in this country should be the subject of a public process available to any member or members of the country to recommend to the National Honors and Decorations Advisory Council, and that only thereafter would it be seen by Cabinet and myself. I am happy that your renaming here was the subject of this wide public consultation. And I think that those who have turned up here would know that this is a matter that has clearly sat well with the members of this community. And this is how renaming ought to take place.
Meanwhile, Sir Richard expressed heartfelt thanks to his family for their selflessness in giving him to the nation. He also spoke of his deep love for the close-knit St. Patrick's community, which he said shaped his values and influenced his life's work.
St. Patrick's is the village that has raised me and sent me into the world. It is the village in which both my mother and father, both families have deep roots, my mother's and my father's, here in the St. Patrick's area. And it's on the shoulders of the people of this community on which I have stood. They have lifted me up. They tell me in this district that I have made them proud. But the truth is that they have made me proud, and I want to emphasize that.
Bill payment service provider SurePay has announced a 30-cent over-the-counter service fee which takes effect next month. The move is raising concern from the Barbados Consumer Empowerment Network over the impact on consumers and customers who rely on in-person payments. From the 16th of March, a 30-cent convenience fee will apply to all cash and check bill payments made at SurePay outlets across the island, and that fee will not apply to online payments made through their online portal. BSEN's Executive Director Maureen Holder warns that charging more for face-to-face service creates a two-tier system, putting those without digital access at a clear disadvantage.
The new 30-cent SurePay fee may sound small, but small fees add up, especially when you're paying essential bills every month. This fee affects people who rely on face-to-face service, senior citizens, people without smartphones or internet access, and Barbadians who are not fully digital. Let's face it, not all Barbadians are tech savvy. And for many, going to the counter isn't a choice. It's the only option they have. So charging more for in-person access is really creating a two-tier system, one where one group avoids fees by going digital, and another group pays extra because they can. They have no choice. That's not what fair access looks like.
Ms. Holder is calling on the Fair Trading Commission to review the fee.
So BSEN is calling on the Fair Trading Commission to closely examine any new consumer fee, no matter how small, to make sure it's fair, it's justified, and doesn't quietly raise the cost of living for the most vulnerable in our society. 30 cents may seem minor, but when every service adds just a little more, a couple of cents here and there, families feel the squeeze. Consumer protection means protecting access, not pricing people out of basic services.
First responders are sharpening their ability to detect and respond to chemical threats. That's happening at a hands-on regional workshop underway at the Accra Beach Hotel. The training, hosted by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, equips participants with practical skills to identify toxic substances. We have a report from Trevor Thorpe.
The training combines classroom sessions, field trips and exercises, giving responders the tools to assess and manage potential threats effectively. Director of the Environmental Protection Department, Anthony Headley, said the first set of training has yielded positive results. The benefits were seen as recently as earlier this month.
We in Barbados, we have trained in excess of 68 individuals. At least 3 persons have been trained at instructor level. So we have a good cadre of individuals who have the necessary skills, and we've been seeing the benefits of that training over time when we've had incidences in the past, from the incident at the National Union of Public Workers with the white powdered substance to the recent fire last week at Bees. We were able to go in, respond, set up the area, and personnel were deployed at all of those instances.
The department head explained that among the hazardous substances managed by the department are chlorine gas and pesticides, chemicals that can pose serious risks to human health if not properly handled.
We have always been seeking to improve our capacity, and we had limited knowledge. Through this, we've been able to expand our knowledge and our capability to respond to these types of incidents.
Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, National Beautification, Green and Blue Economy, Steve Devenish, said that hosting the workshop reflects Barbados' commitment to peace and the non-proliferation of chemical weapons.
Our decision to accede to the CWC in March 2007 coincided with the Cricket World Cup. Hosting such an international event marked the importance and partnership and the international cooperation required to protect our state and to protect our country. Since then, our collaboration with OPC, OPCW, and regional partners have shown the value of cooperation and regional solidarity.
The workshop runs for a week. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Students of Parkinson Memorial School are being reminded that the future of their institution rests in their hands, not the ministry, not the teachers, and not the principal. That message came from Apostle Dr. Marlon Husbands during the school's 65th anniversary church service held at the People's Cathedral yesterday morning.
In your hands, you who wear yellow and green, you who wear khaki and epaulets on your shoulders, the future of this great institution is in your hands. I want to say that excellence can be determined by you under God. Excellence is not measured by the profession you choose. Hear me. Excellence is measured by the number of lives you changed in your time.
Dr. Husbands also challenged the students to go the extra mile, encouraging them to study for at least 3 minutes every day outside of their regular homework.
I challenge you to improve 1 week subject intentionally. I challenge you arrive on time to school every time. I challenge you represent your school with pride. I challenge you drop one lazy habit. I challenge you, developing the mentality of the ant. And I close on this. Adopt the standard mentality of the ant. Don't be average. Don't be careless. Don't waste potential. If ants can prepare without a principle, if ant can build without applause, if ant can work without excuses, then you can excel with this opportunity of free education. 65 years.
Let's look at sports now. Good news. The Windies have remained undefeated at the ongoing ICC Men's World Cup after yesterday's demolition of Zimbabwe. Sent in to bat in their first match of the Super 8 stage, the Windies posted 254 for 6, inclusive of a World Cup innings record of 19 sixes. Player of the match, Shimro Hetmar, bludgeoned 85 off 34 deliveries with 7 fours and 7 sixes, with his 50 coming off 19 balls, which is a new record for the fastest 50 by a Windies at a men's T20 World Cup. Zimbabwe were then dismissed for 147 in 17.4 overs for the Windies to win by 107 runs. Gudakesh Moti took 4 for 28. Look at the highlights.
First 6.
Great to be West Indian indeed after you watch something like that. Well, that win moves the Windies now to the top of the Super 8 Group 1 with the same 2 points as South Africa, but with a superior net run rate. Their next match is against South Africa, and that's on Thursday morning, 5:30, Thursday morning, 5:30 Barbados time, and it's live on MCTV 308. Don't miss it. We'll take a break here from news and sports, and more news and sports coming up at 12 noon on TV8. Morning Barbados, though, is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. morning to you.
The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Chef Adrian Commonbatch and this is another episode of Daddy's Meals for Kids. So, I'm preparing today homemade chicken nuggets with spinach, I got plantain, I got carrots, using shadabeni, chive, thyme. In here I have my breadcrumb mix that is seasoned up with paprika, little salt, there's parsley flakes in there, there's sazon inside there too as well, and a little bit of paprika.
And it ends there? I wanted to know the method. I wanted to know everything about that. Chef Adrian Commonbatch is with me. Chef, good morning.
Good morning.
Where do we go after that? You got all of that in that mixture. What happens next?
I can't remember. But we mixed up everything together and I brought the kids on and just baked it.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
fry
you
it.
baked chicken nuggets?
Yeah, I baked my chicken nuggets. Even the processed ones, I baked them for my kids.
Why?
Eliminate some of the oils and stuff like that going into their body. So they love nuggets. You know, in the morning, some of the fastest things to get done. So it's what you do, put them in the oven, get them ready, just pop them out, and there they go.
But when you tell a child you're putting leafy vegetables and that kind of thing, leafy greens, they freak out. It's like,
I had to hide it. That's
Exactly.
I had to hide it first. Then they brought them on the show after to taste. But my daughter and my son, they look at everything, right? So incorporating food for kids, you blitz it fine.
You have to.
Fine. And that's it.
Once they know, that is the end
Correct,
of it right there and
correct.
then. You know, we make a lot of mistakes in the kitchen. We burn water. I burn rice. Don't laugh at me, Adrian. I'm so serious. But
I
these are
can't
the things
laugh
we
at
do.
somebody burn rice.
We burn rice, and sometimes in baking of meats, we don't quite get it right, and some is unfinished.
Yeah.
So we make a lot of mistakes in the kitchen. In other words, help me understand how to unmake those mistakes.
We're paying attention.
To what? The heat.
The food.
Okay.
A lot of people like to cook, but then you may understand the scientific happenings behind the food, like how it reacts to heat, and the time it takes to cook, how much water it needs, then you'll be able to judge. So some people cook, put the pot on, go lay down.
Yes.
And then they only get up when they smell, oh shit. That's only you.
That's me.
But, you just have to, it takes time, it takes practice. Don't just cook for flavor, you understand your product, understand how it reacts, understand when you add salt to this product, how the difference you add at the beginning or the end. That's why chefs hide recipes, you know.
Okay.
Because it just take one person to see, oh, he added salt last. That's what make a difference. And then they go along with your recipe making millions. So
me adding salt to the water before it begins to boil, that kind of thing is wrong. Depends on what I'm making.
Depends on what you're making. If you're doing rice and stuff like that, right?
Add salt to the water up front.
Yes, up front.
We got that secret from the chef.
And then you can add I can give that recipe, add a little thyme, a fresh leaf of thyme or something, a herb in the water to give that little aromatic flavor in the rice before you actually add flavor to your rice.
Oh.
It's like with the Ministry of Health and the National Nutrition Center wanted us to start lime and salt in the meat before we add salt again. Because when we lime and salt the meat absorbs the salt first. Although we wash it off, then we add more salt to it. So all those different techniques and stuff like that, you have to understand the basics of the cooking.
All right. So let's look at some of the basic mistakes we make. You said we lime and, you're right, we lime and salt our meat.
For hours.
There's a problem?
Because the salt content, we're trying to reduce the salt content.
Because of that, from that perspective.
That perspective, yes. Remember preserving, back in the days, coming across the ocean was salt, heavy salt, to preserve their meats coming across. A lot of things change. You don't really get pigtails so salty again or saltfish like that salty again from before because of laws and change and stuff like that. But just understand, when you're cooking, just don't cook to eat. Understand what you're eating, understand the preparation, the cooking techniques, the wet method and the dry method of cooking.
I leave that to y'all. Just make sure it tastes good. So what's the difference between the wet, what do you call the wet method and the dry method?
So wet method is anything that's fried or submerged in liquid.
Okay.
So water, so boiling, poaching, frying is wet.
Wet method.
Dry is grilling, baking, anything using dry heat.
Okay.
So that's where the being healthy or unhealthy comes in. So instead of frying my nuggets, dry heat cooking method. Right, so it eliminates a lot of saturated fats and stuff like that.
Sometimes fry. We do the fry well now. You fry something, again, outside it's lovely coated brown. But do you know about this? Right? Coated brown, you cut it and realize, oh my goodness, it's not finished. It's not finished. Yeah. What happened there?
Too much heat, too much oil, too much heat on the product in the oil that you're frying, you're talking about frying. So some people, then when they say, so they get crispy brown, oh shoot, my thing burning. And they take it off, and they put it in this raw inside, it's a gentle submerging in the oil, let it heat up, and then when you put your product in there, it cooks, and you have to monitor it. Right. It's like microwave cooking cooks from the inside out. Frying cooks from the outside in.
Okay, so take your time, lower the heat, and go from there.
Lower the heat.
I have laughter in the gallery, laughed at me, bad. You can't cook. They're telling me right now, that's okay. I don't confess to be a cooker. And so, how do you test the temperature of the oil? Us men, you got to put something to fry in there. You stand a million miles away before you put it in.
A little flour.
Flour.
Or again, you would know, if you put oil on the heat, I know if in a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you're going to get hot.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's your experience.
That's my experience, right? And then you can test a little flour, don't add water. Because some people want to test it with water, you know what happened there. Right, you won't believe it, right? Yes. And some people coming from culinary school, that's add a little, what are you doing? But if you add a little flour, that's a test. Once you start bubbles and sizzles on top,
as if it's frying, then you know it's good.
Yes. Oil has a smoke point where it starts to burn. If you see that oil burning, the smoke coming from the oil, turn it off. Let it cool down, and then you go again. Because some people say, oh, should the oil hot?
It's ready.
You put it in there fast.
It's ready.
When they do that,
yes,
everything gets burned quickly. Yeah.
Okay. Wooden spoon. The use of a wooden spoon in testing for hot oil as well. Do you do that?
I never saw a technique.
Me neither. So I'm just being told by ear about this technique.
I never know. How do you test with the wooden spoon?
I don't know. I don't know, so I'm asking you.
I don't know. I never saw anyone testing hot oil with a spoon. I know I look at it. Sometimes you could see the oil dancing and moving from the heat.
Right.
You know?
Someone said to me, with the wooden spoon, once the oil is really hot, there's some, I guess it's from condensation or something, the bubbles would begin to form on that wooden spoon.
Oh, so they're resting with a spoon over the oil?
Yeah. Have you ever done? No.
I don't know.
So that's
I put a wooden spoon over the rice water or anything.
So it doesn't boil over.
Correct.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I got that one covered. I've seen people as well, but I saw something, a video of Jamaican cooking some rice and peas, and they had the plastic put on top of it. That plastic, what is it called? That?
Cling wrap.
Thank you.
Yes, they do. That's the steam.
But that's you turn off the heat and allow it to just
and
steam.
steam. Yes, correct.
Okay,
I do that sometimes too as well. Yeah. So
why?
If you're doing basmati rice, if you're doing jasmine or anything that needs a little more steam and fluff instead of water and soggy, you use the steaming method. You cover the pot with the plastic just before the water evaporates, turn the stove off, and that steams inside there. Yeah.
I let it cook like that.
Yeah.
I like rather fluffy though, so please don't mess up my rice. So these are things that we don't quite get right in the kitchen. And we got to get it right. So if your pot tends to boil over a lot, put the wooden spoon across the top, and it will keep down. Is it how wonderful how that works?
Some scientific.
You're trying to understand the science of that, but it works.
Yeah, it does.
What about pouring oil on the rice, for instance? Water bubbling like crazy, and I would just want to add a little oil on top of it.
In the rice?
Water boiling, yeah.
No, I don't add oil to rice. I don't add oil to rice. No.
You don't add oil to rice? You don't add oil to rice, Peter. Peter asked me to ask you that question. So you don't do that.
But some people, how I cook my rice, I like to, as I mentioned before, a little salt in the water. I add, if rice is supposed to have 2.5 cups of water, I put in 4 cups. I don't let my water drain. I don't let my water drain out the rice. I let my rice boil in the water and then strain my rice. And then it can come down and saute it with any flavor I want. I can add the peas. If I'm doing rice and peas, I have to let it dry out. But if I'm doing rice separately, to add, all depends on the peas. If I'm doing canned peas, I boil my rice first, strain it, saute my peas with all the onions and the herbs and aromatics, a little butter in there, and then I fold back in the rice into the peas. That's
so much work.
I know you get a lot more flavor built into the rice, and then you could control how much water. So, because some people like the rice friendly, as you mentioned, some people don't like the rice friendly, right? I'm in between.
Okay.
I don't like my rice too sticky.
Not too sticky.
Not
sticky enough.
Yeah, correct.
Got you.
They're gathering.
Are you able as professionals you are to look and say, okay, these grains are soft rice.
Yeah.
I have to press them and squeeze it.
Because the opaqueness inside, you can see when it's changed into a nice white fluffy rice.
There are different types of rice.
Correct.
You can say about basmati, and I don't know the
grain, short grain, sushi. They got different types of rice. So
and the cooking methods would change depending on what the rice is.
Yes, correct. Parboiled rice is already done parboiled. So you don't use
boiled before.
Yes. If you're using white rice, which is the raw rice, then you have to use a little more water, a little more cooking pressure on it. Basmati rice, all those sticky types of rice, short grain rice, they tend to use a little more water and a little more slow, relaxed cooking, no rushing. You know, and cooking is like controlling a car, the gas, the fire. You know, you have to control the fire up and down and make sure that you move from boiling into simmering and let that product cook with tenderness and care. It's love.
Someone says here, Sandra says, to revive stale bread, you sprinkle it with water and you bake it for 5 minutes. Is this true or false?
My bread don't last with me.
Maybe that bread got a little stale-y.
You can soak it a little bit in water or sprinkle it in water and give it a little heat. But anything that bread can still, we get the turtles vibe.
Yeah.
I know we don't revive bread and Barbados.
So would you use that stale bread to make breadcrumbs or anything like that? Or was it still it's not good for consumption?
Yes, you could make it. Some people, once you have a restaurant, no, we're talking home, I discard. Again, it never lasts that long to say get stale.
Yes.
Right? But in the restaurant, when you have to stretch your dollar,
yes,
everything has to recycle. That's why you really will see me really eating out at all-inclusive resorts.
I got you.
A lot of recycling has to happen.
People.
I'm not scared. It's reality. A lot in the kitchen, a lot of recycling has to happen for you to be in the full cost budget.
Right.
So steel bread, I usually have a glass bottom bowl. I take them for the turtles or the fish, red fish, and just, yeah.
So James is saying here now, perfectly fluffy rice requires you to add a teaspoon of coconut oil while boiling.
Again, I don't add oil. I never add oil. Yes, it could work. People probably do it, but I never add oil to my rice. Again, I remember I boil my rice separate.
How do you keep rice white? You know, there's some plates you get perfectly gleamingly white rice. And then how does that happen? That's white rice that you use in the first place?
That's plain parboiled white rice. Plain. You can't add no...
parboiled rice gives you white rice?
White rice, yeah. Or if you're using jasmine, if you're using local parboiled rice, they got different brands, you just don't add anything else to the water.
Okay.
Don't add anything else to the water. And you got to let it boil right out.
Okay. So white rice requires you to get parboiled rice.
Yes.
And it should turn
parboiled rice allows you to get white rice.
Okay. Right. So I want white rice. So I start with buying the parboiled rice, which allows me to get the white rice.
Correct.
And there's nothing I can do to change that color.
To what?
I don't know about changing color to anything. I'm just saying.
If you want to change the color,
what I put into the water, can that affect the
outcome? Yes, saffron. You could add saffron. If you add paprika, you can turn a little brown. If you add something, add a little browning in the water too as well.
If I want to do that.
Yeah, if you want different kind of fried rice looking type of rice.
But if I just use my regular method of cooking, that should come out as white rice.
Right, and fluffy and nice.
All right.
Again, if I want my white rice, I'm going to boil with more water than usual. And just pour off, and then have my nice. I could test it in the water because some people don't add enough water, and all depends on where you are, where you are in terms of like, some cooking, the elevation, how if you're below sea level, if you're above sea level, all these things affect. It's like baking and stuff like that too as well. The atmospheric pressure, all these effects. So all depends on where you are. Some simple rice and the brand you use to as well.
Fair enough, Adrian. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we have more questions for you and some examples that you're going to share with us as well. Yeah. All right, fair? All right, Mornin Barbados breaks here. We're back in a moment.
Okay. My brother, 10 years older than me. So, when I'm home, sometimes alone, can't touch the stove, can't cook. I'm going to leave food there sometimes and what's not. But my favorite thing in the world to have and to go back to is peanut butter and jam. Look, it must be guava jam too, you know? No other jam. Don't give me the pineapple jam, don't give me the strawberry jam. It must be guava. Alright. I ain't take my guava jam, so This is the fun. This is fine dining here. Look. Fine dining. I spread it across the berry soda. Boom. Put it down so. I'm gonna just crawl bad with this here. So you take this here spoon and put it in the peanut butter. Rah! She getting all bad. The grandmother too. Get all rid of our fushes. We got things to this. Right. I was a little rebel growing up to a big rebel. So look, I got my peanut butter. I squeeze it together so a little bit. Squeeze it so. Hold on. I got my Lost Paradise cut. And you must have a Bajan, Pine Hill, passion fruit juice to go along with your PB&J. Even if fools know, good thing.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scald, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 to the hour. I did not know it until now that Peter is a master chef. As a matter of fact, Peter was, when the commercial break was going, was giving Chef Adrian and me some real tips as to how he does what he does. And so, Adrian, hearing what Peter said, is he cooking his rice right?
Yes, he's cooking it just like me. And him and his wife, and putting it in the oven to, some people put it in the oven to dry, as he mentioned, is absolutely correct.
All right.
It's absolutely correct.
So he's doing all right.
But you ever had, well, last year I had rice tea.
What you don't have to be for?
You never had rice tea?
I don't think so. No.
Whoa. You know what is rice tea?
Tea made from rice. Innit?
With the coconut, grating bay leaf, and cinnamon.
And I haven't had it. Wow. Unless you fool me with it, somebody had to fool me with that. Would it not taste like rice?
No, it tastes like cereal.
It just tastes like regular cereal?
Yeah. No, it tastes like, because you got the coconut milk and stuff like that, and it tastes like cereal. That porridge that replaces, because remember growing up we had much. Okay. So that replaces having to go buy Kellogg's or these fancy cereals or cream. You steal rice from the same white rice that steal from Sunday. Guarantee that coming in your dinner something during the week in a rice.
That's a little trick that you just taught to us today. So for those, if you don't throw away the rice, you can use that same rice and make rice tea.
Rice tea.
How do you make rice tea?
So you same rice, you grate the coconut and let the coconut, and add water to the coconut. So you get the coconut water. Add the rice to that, you add your cinnamon, your nutmeg, a little sugar, you can add bay leaf in there too as well. Man, and stir it up, get it nice and thick and creamy and nice.
And let that go.
Rain falling nicely in that time.
That should work.
Yeah, I think you should watch MacGyver on CBC.
Yeah.
And go on your bed.
That should work. That should work. So you don't have to reach for some of these other processed products off the shelf.
No.
You can actually use it in this way.
Correct. Definitely, and all natural too as well. And then again, you're stretching your dollar.
Yeah.
All about stretching. You know, food is one of the most expensive commodities here. So you have to stretch your dollar. You have to. These young folks these days, my children don't like nothing to steal.
Right.
And you're free, I want that. And
so
I try to keep that sternness in, like from what I learned from my mom and grandmother, in terms of like don't eat everything and eat that from yesterday. You understand?
Yes.
Get that in. So it's all about saving money too as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we bake a lot, we cook a lot, so cook enough that lasts a little bit longer.
Correct.
And use that other longer set food in different ways. You don't have to represent it in the same way.
No.
And that's what the magic of what you do. And so here's some 5 cooking myths or facts. One of those, you tell me, is alcohol cooks off completely.
Yes.
All right.
It cooks off completely, but you still get the flavor of alcohol, because how you know that my partner is highly allergic to alcohol, but he loves to experiment with wine and stuff like that, and then he can have it when it's cooked right off.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will still have that little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
Number 2, you must rinse pasta after cooking. Why?
Not rinse, but they help cool the pot.
It helps to cool it.
It has to cool it, yeah. So what people do in French cuisine, they dip it in an ice bath to stop the cooking process.
Okay.
Or not, if we leave it there, clumped together, it's just gonna cook all the way down
Till it cool.
Yeah.
Go. Microwaving kills nutrients.
Yes.
Fact or fiction?
I agree with that because I mentioned microwaving cooks from inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So it cooks from everything inside. So it helps eliminate any heat.
Yeah.
Eliminates
The inside.
bacteria and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. And the last one we see here is a fact or fiction is that oil prevents pasta from sticking.
Definitely.
Peter agrees with that.
But Peter mentioned he put the oil in it. He said that he put the oil in the water.
Yes.
The pasta floats, he bought from the oil he thought. What I do now, I don't add oil to the water because over the years we realized that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cooking large volumes. So we add the oil after we dip it in the cool water and mix it in. So the oil coats all the pasta now. So instead of adding it in, because the oil floats on top of water,
Right.
pasta is below boiling. You're going to get some on it, but you're not going to get all the pasta coated. So we cool it, then we throw the oil on it, and then we mix it like that, and it doesn't stick.
Stop. So we can understand. I'm the novice here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing a macaroni pie, I would normally put my oil in, I let it bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
You're suggesting to me do the bubble up without the oil, pour off the excess water, and then add the oil? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, but when you add the oil for macaroni pie,
I just want to know.
Macaroni pie, this oil technique for things like elbow pasta or richetti pasta that you're doing to saute later.
Okay.
If you're making macaroni pie, put your cheese sauce in that thing.
And that's enough.
Bake that good.
Go on, clear.
Go on, clear. You know, don't let pasta. When making macaroni, don't let pasta cool. Everything in one thing, and you go along the road.
I have another one to the list here. It says boiling eggs for 10 minutes makes them perfect. Makes them perfect.
Error. No. A boiled egg takes about 7 minutes. Perfect.
A hard-boiled egg would only take about...
Yes, because let me hear how you boil your eggs. Let me hear what you do.
I set the pan on the heat with water, and I put in the egg one time cold. I let the water just eventually heat up and boil.
So all that time your egg is cooking, all that time your egg is cooking.
As the heat increases, yes.
All that time your egg is cooking.
Yeah,
So after time, so you open egg green inside. You have to let
I
the water...
don't cook it that long, just 7 minutes. Bubble, 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 bubble. I listen to it bounce about in the pan, and I don't know if it's 7 minutes. I think it's less. For me, it's less than 7 minutes.
So your eggs be running?
No, I would not have that.
It never be less than 7 minutes.
But I don't count. But it didn't feel like 7 minutes to me. But then sometimes we look for a crack. Let it crack, and we figure, hey, my boy is ready to come out now.
You rough beer, sir. But what I'm saying is, right, is that you let the water boil first.
Oh.
And then you take a spoon, add your eggs in slowly, and then you can cook the 7 minutes. So you boil that again, know your products. So your egg is sitting there, the temperature is raising. As the temperature raises, eggs cook about 85 to 90 degrees, right? And you run out of it. So then the water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So then the egg cooking, you doing your thing, getting ready for Mornin Barbados. That's boiling, going on the road.
They boil.
Right? But for perfect egg, in a kitchen scenario, for all the young chefs out there, let the water boil first. So a soft boiled egg is about 4 minutes, medium is about 5, and then a well done, perfectly cooked egg is about 7 to 8 minutes in boiling. It depends on the size of the egg in the boiling water. So you add the egg into the boiling water, then you start to cook.
How do you deshell that egg? It's hard boiled. Do you crack it from the fatter side or the pointed side?
I put it in cold water quickly, it shocks the shell, and just peel it.
Just so?
But remember, presenting eggs, now I'm speaking from a chef point of view, presenting boiled eggs to guests, you probably leave it in the shell for sanitary purposes.
Yeah, I get that.
But home, or if you're home, are we talking about home cracking the container? But
you don't there's the pointy part and then there's the other part.
I ain't look at no part. I just hit it from inside, and once I open it,
all right.
I open it and go.
I get you.
Yeah.
Poached eggs, though, how do you manage that? How do you do poached eggs?
Poached eggs, so
they're so perfect and clean.
Crack the egg in a bowl separately. You get your water boiling first, and then reduce the steam. All right. A little vinegar to help coagulate the egg white. I make a funnel, in the water, spin it with a whisk. Once it's spinning, I add my egg in there. And once I spin, I come around, it's gonna come slow down, and slow and come all together.
Okay.
And then you let it cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. Take it out with a slotted spoon or anything with holes, let it come off, and then you add it on top of your bread, your bagel. You can add your smoked salmon, you can add your spinach below to get eggs Benedict or Alaskan egg. And then you make your sauce we top, your Bernaise, your Hollandaise.
I show off with the words. Yeah,
but you have to learn the 5 mother sauces.
Perhaps.
When you're cooking.
Okay, so one of those 5 mother sauces.
So Hollandaise is one. So daise at the end. You get, from Hollandaise, you get Bernaise, you get mayonnaise. That's the basic.
Okay.
So the egg yolks with oil, and you whisk it, and the more things you add, the more it change. Right? Tomato sauce is another mother sauce. So tomato sauce, you get the pizza sauce, the marinara sauces, the ketchups, barbecue sauces, you're going on the line. The other one is Espanol, which is a brown sauce. Then you get your stocks. Then you have velouté and you have bechamel. Bechamel is the one you add a roux, you add your milk and everything in there, and that's where you get your Alfredos and your different sauces from. So once the students learn your basic mother sauces, the 5 mother sauces, they have thousands of derivatives from the basics.
Peter?
Yeah.
Peter is learning, boy, and I'm learning too. You're doing well. You're doing well, Adrian. I'm testing you as we go.
I do this every summer.
But let's talk about now. Get back into the kitchen with the children, and helping the children to understand what you just told me. One, and how do you make that fun?
With my kids, they love to cook. It's natural. Once they go in the kitchen, that they want to cook, that they want to cook, that they want to cook. And they use it to...
That is not crap beer jokes when he's cooking, yes.
Recently, too, I realized that I could use... They could identify... I use it as a learning tool, too, as well, to identify products, identify our national dish, identify the pricing, too. At this age, the cost.
Yes.
So they learn to count. They learn I want 10 apples, so they go to the supermarket with me. They go to the market with me, they start to count with the apples, so they want 5 apples, so they learn to count as they go. They are just fun. Look, they're expecting nuggets. They're expecting nuggets there. And they're very picky, obviously 2 different personalities.
Yes.
So, if you could just hear what is.
What's he saying?
Yeah. I can't remember what he's saying, but...
Okay.
So they're counting.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Don't know more, baby. All right, they're pretty hot. These are chicken nuggets. And when you want to tell me how they Darren, you go first, and tell me how it tastes. Okay.
With carrots.
You see carrots in there? Eat it. Stop looking in it. Just eat it. You don't like carrots in there. Just eat it.
Carrot.
Eat it.
Ew.
It tastes good?
Let's go on.
Darian, your turn now.
That is.
Your turn.
Not that big boy.
Your turn. Good boy. Okay?
Daddy. That's a bye.
You want to say bye?
No.
What time about bye then? If you want to say bye, we done.
Bye bye. Let me taste one more.
Taste one more then. You like it? Alright. These are our new chicken nuggets now for the morning for breakfast, okay?
I like the reaction to the carrots.
Yeah, she looks yeah, she doesn't miss.
She doesn't
anything. Yeah, she doesn't miss it.
And I like that because there are children who are like that. They're very, 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 very picky. You can hide all you want. They spot what they don't want, and they'll tell you what they don't want.
Correct.
And I mean, and they grow up to adults doing the same thing as well. But we want to begin to incorporate in our meals for our children quite early, as you just did, the healthy components that they definitely need.
You should. And then we make it as parents. I understand because I have a lot of conversation with other parents, kids my age, the time it takes to get ready for the morning. So they give them the fastest thing to eat, whatever you want to eat. And then if their child don't want that discipline that we had We had to eat that. You eat this or there's nothing.
That's
you can
right.
eat it. A lot of that changed. They give the child, you give a 4 for your child an option. You're setting yourself for failure. Because when you get 8, 9, 10, then you got to keep looking for those options. No, this is what we have tonight. You're going to eat that.
Fair. Now, the nuggets that you just made, though, and made by you, how do you keep them long enough? Do you do it the way we see the processed nuggets in our fridges and that kind of thing?
No, I freeze them. So I batch them off.
So you batch them off.
I batch them off in an airtight or vacuum seal them. So I know that each of them eat 4 nuggets in the morning. So I batch them 8 or probably 12 in there too as well. And then I try not to give it every day.
Right.
Every other day, try to change up the breakfast, get some fruits, give them some nice healthy cereal. Again, you have to hide the package. You have to see the healthy. The box are looking too healthy. You don't want that.
Right. And how long would you keep it in the fridge for?
I had some sex that video, a month.
All right, good. I got you. Good. So we can deal with that. Look at those. Some of the biggest cooking errors. Boiling veggies to death. That is, the nutrients leach into water, steam, or saute instead. Is that the recommendation? Rather than boiling them to death?
Right, so you steam your vegetables, or we use a word we use called blanching.
Right.
If you just submerge in hot water for 10 seconds, out into cold water to stop the cooking process, and then you can do what you want from there. So people boil and think that I need to get this carrot sauce. No, just blanch in and out as raw as you can.
Keep the crunch.
Keep the crunch, yes.
Keep the crunch. Does boiling lose up to 50% of vitamins? By boiling, basically, do you lose up to 50% of vitamins?
For sure. Into the water, yes.
All right,
it goes into the water.
What are better methods then? You say steaming because you retain the nutrients. Quick stir fry. What's stir fry for a lot of people? They hear that sometimes they wonder what's that.
Hot oil, quick. Saute means a jump.
Right.
Stir fry is from the Asian continent. Hot pan, quick stir fry. Out. Yeah.
Keep the crunch.
Keep the crunch.
Don't kill the vegetable.
No, you don't have
Keep
to.
the crunch.
No.
All right. Stir fry. Roasting. Would you recommend roasting, which using caramelized natural sugars for flavor and fiber?
Correct. Again, roasting is a dry heat method. So you burn all the sugars, you caramelize them as I mentioned, and you don't have that, again, saturated fats coming from roasting. Dry heat. Dry is always better than wet in certain instances.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about blanching just now. And just in and out.
Yeah.
That water that remains, though. What do you just throw it away?
No, we use that. All right, in the kitchen, we use that for stock. Stock to flavor soups or sauces.
What kind of flavor would you get from that? You're in and out.
But remember, we're going to be in the kitchen in large volumes.
Okay,
the volume going to add that flavor. Home is the same thing, you could still use that water to boil rice nets or boil your pasta in. So you're stretching the nutrients out too as well, So that same water that you're blanching your vegetables in, it's called a stock. A stock is peels of the vegetables in water anyhow, boil. So remember, stock is a flavorful liquid.
Okay.
Chicken stock uses bones, chicken feet,
bones.
The bones. Beef, everything they use. So that's where you get these different sauces come to as well for like the Espanol and stuff like that. It's because of the flavor.
I feel like going home and dealing with the kitchen right now. Bako Corbin says, I'm really enjoying this learning how to cook session. I just feel like going home and trying new things right away. And I'm hoping our viewers feel the same way as well, learning from Chef Adrian different ways and understanding the cooking methods as well. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back with more with Chef Adrian in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount. Sponsored by Get...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Learning a lot in the kitchen with Chef Adrian Cumberbatch, who's also the director of Cook Caribbean. I know this name. This person here is asking, no name, no mention. Pearson, can you cook? No. What's your favorite thing to cook? Nothing. That's your answer right there. What's your favorite thing to cook, Chef Adrian?
I don't even know. I don't.
You do everything so well.
I don't even know. Like, I'm a simple guy. I probably like roasting breadfruits, man. I enjoy roasting breadfruits. And probably lamb stew. Anything that's chewing, I like to do.
Love it too.
Yeah.
Love it too. What annoys you about cooking and about how people cook that kind of thing?
The uncleanliness.
Yeah, your kitchen look really clean just now. So.
It really clean. You know, I'm perfect. But what I'm saying is that the gospel doesn't be rough with it. Handling my food. Anything you see handling my food rough, I don't want it. You go to establishment, but you got the bad manners and the unmanly. You can't be unmanly around food. Cannot. It doesn't go well with me.
That's a good point. Chef Adrian, I thank you so much for spending the time with us. I think not only did we get to know you better, but we get to better understand the mechanics of cooking, what it takes to get something right, and the things that we ought to start paying closer attention to. I surely do. Yeah. And so now I understand, don't drop everything in the water up front. Pearson, watch how you boil your eggs. It boils about 7 minutes. Boil, put in the egg when the water is bubbling, and not before. All of those kinds of things. Thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. Director of Cook Caribbean, Adrian Cumberbatch, a good CP man. Indeed. And so we want to encourage you to learn better what you learned today and to do better what you now know. That's it for time. Our little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a great day. By the will of the Lord, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.